The popular HBO series Westworld is a western with robots, secrecy, mazes. It's futuristic. It's just about everything that you could be asking for an HBO series. Also, a talented cast of actors, most notably Anthony Hopkins from Hannibal, Silence of the Lamb, Ed Harris from The Truman Show, The Right Stuff, and for both of them, many, many more movies that I just can't name off the top of my head. Anyway, talented actors, many more. Jimmy Simpson, if I said his name right, he's on It's Always Sunny, and a bunch of other amazing shows and movies. Anyway, straight to the point. My expectations for Westworld were through the roof. Watching trailers, seeing everybody get hyped. I remember the first trailer and I was like, yeah, this show is going to be amazing. And I was right. The story, you get dropped into the story right away. Basically, a quick rundown. There's a thing called Westworld. Basically, people who are rich are able to pay $40,000 a day to experience whatever the fuck you want in this Western world. You can kill people, you can go on adventures, you can have as much sex as you want, as they point out in the show. It's a very cool idea, but obviously there are some twists and turns that end up making it seem like it's not so good of idea. Good idea. What I thought going into the show was A, this is going to be amazing, and B, I bet that the fucking twists and turns and curveballs are going to be so out of this world, and the show is going to leave you thinking and everything. Now that I have finished the show, I can say without a doubt it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Now, you might not like hearing that because you might think that the reveals for certain things on Westworld were amazing and incredible, and they were. I definitely was surprised for a lot of things, but I also was able to call some things. Not a lot of things, but some things. Doesn't take away from the show, doesn't take away from the hype. It is still an amazing show, and I cannot wait for season 2 sometime next year. Now, let's get into some of the characters here. First, we meet Robert Ford, who is played by Anthony Hopkins. This character, just right off the bat, when you see him, you're just expecting this dude to have years upon years of secrets. You can tell that he's a mysterious guy. Even though that he is an older man on the show, and a lot of people on the show, not his colleagues, but other people who are plotting against him, try to use him being old to get over on him, or to think that it brings down his awareness, when that is not the case at all. Anthony Hopkins, being such an amazing actor, it works so well with the way this Robert Ford character was being portrayed and how they wanted him to come off. Amazing. Just getting into some of the people who played robots, like Dolores, played by Evan Rachel Wood. She was amazing. First of all, anybody who played a host or the robots on this show did amazing. Like, even though obviously these are real people, but when they get into the robot mode where one of the real humans are talking to them and they have what they're programmed to respond with, and they're responding, it's just the way they're able to look like they really are robots, and their responses are so programmed. It's really good acting, and it makes you really sympathize and fall for some of these characters, because when they're in their world, you gotta realize they don't know that it's fake. They don't know that everything is a fucking loop that they are being thrown through. Every time they die, every time they go to sleep, they wake up and they do the same routine every day, and they have no clue. Every single thing that they're going to get into is set up and they think it's real, and they have no idea. So when you find out that like some of their stories, you start to sympathize for them when they get hurt or when somebody does wrong to them or even when they die in some of these cases. I mean, I'll tell you, the first time I seen or just knew Dolores died, it was crazy because I was just like, she's terrified because she thinks this is real, okay? And that's what makes it so good. Getting into another character, the Man in Black, played by Ed Harris. Once again, the same with Robert Ford. When you see Ed Harris or the Man in Black pop up on the screen, you instantly just know, okay, this is like the same deal. Years upon years upon years of secrets, and you obviously just know that something is up with this guy. Obviously, it's so obvious. Like this dude is not on the same agenda as everybody else who is visiting Westworld. This dude has his own plan. This dude is obviously on a mission, and he's not going to stop or let anybody stop him. And Ed Harris, being an amazing actor too, he is able to play this role with finesse. And what makes it so great about the Man in Black is I like to think that he is basically us. He is the viewer watching, but he is also in the show and he's participating with the main agenda, which seems to be this maze that he's after. Like, he's the only one who's on this quote-unquote maze. He keeps talking about it. It keeps popping up in the show, and everybody's basically clueless, including us. We have no idea what the fuck this maze is. And as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into the show, obviously it starts slowly and slowly getting revealed to you. Also through hints. There are a shit ton of hints on this show. I mean, fuck's sake, like literally starting from episode 1 all the way to the end, they are dropping hints upon hints upon hints, and some of the hints just connect to another hint that you had, and then one hint is probably the big one where you're just gonna have to piece it together in your mind right then and there, and other hints literally are still yet to be answered. And I think that is what makes the show so good. I mean, could they have done less with some of the hints? Yes, I feel like sometimes they blatantly threw something at you just to get it out of the way so you knew, and the reveal could have been a lot better. But at the end of the day, it was still great, and I still enjoyed watching it, and I am not mad at it. And for the pace of the show, I don't feel like it was slow. I don't feel like it was too fast. I still feel like they have a lot to show. I feel like this was just the tip of the fucking iceberg for this show. Even though the ending was insane and they probably could have just done a single series show or a single season show, and they really could have ended it right then and there with multiple or maybe thousands of questions still unanswered. Like, the show ends and you still haven't even seen outside yet. Like, that's what's so crazy about the show. They were able to keep the show within the grasp of inside this fucking building where Westworld is, and then inside of Westworld, inside of where the hosts are, all the robots. Those are the only two worlds that you were ever seeing. You don't get to see the real world outside. You don't. And this show doesn't need to show you it. Why? Because Westworld has amazing features to it. It looks amazing in there. And you don't even think about outside, even though it still is a big question of, like, what does this world actually look like, where you can go on vacation to fucking a Western theme park for $41,000 a day. What does this futuristic world look like? Those questions are still unanswered and unseen. And also, what I think makes the show so great is there's no real bad guy. Like, I love shows where you could justify why this good guy is fighting this bad guy, and also why the bad guy is fighting the good guy. It's not where there's an obvious good, like, hero or villain, because everybody on the show has done wrong. Literally everybody on the show has done wrong. There's not a single character on the show who hasn't done anything. No, I can't say that. There are characters who were innocent bystanders, but for the main cast, I'm talking, everybody has done something wrong. Everybody has been a bad guy, and everybody has been a good guy. Like Robert Ford, like, there's a lot of people who will say after that ending of Westworld, oh, this is obviously the good guy. And I would say no. He's not a good guy. If anything, he's more of a bad guy. To me, he did a lot of shitty things. The Man in Black, to me, he's also one of those toss-ups. Like, I could see him as being the good guy. I really could. But at the end of the day, he did a lot of shitty things that makes him a bad guy. Even Dolores, the person you think is like a saint and you are rooting for and you want her to pull through, she has even done bad things. Even though she's been controlled and had to do those bad things. But if you watch that ending, you would know that she did bad things through her own will as well. So, like I said, toss up. Even Maeve. She's done bad things. Her and her gang, she murdered a bunch of innocent people. I really feel like the bad guys and the good guys don't exist in this world. Literally everybody is just doing shit for themselves at the end of the day, and that's really how I feel about it. At the end of the day, it's humans versus robots, and robots are trying to become more human, and the humans revealed to be shitty people. I mean, the show really does help you see that these robots are more human than the actual fucking humans. I mean, the compassion that some of these robots have for each other, even after realizing what their own world is, and for the compassion they show the humans, it's uncanny. Like, you don't really see that in any other form of, television. Like, you could never grasp what it means to know that your world doesn't exist. B, you're on this set loop that is programmed. You are programmed to do the exact same thing every day. These people come to your world to hurt you, to murder you, rape you, steal from you, anything that they want. And you just wake up the next day just to experience it all over again. And at the end of the day, people like Dolores, Maeve, and even Bernard, these are people who worked with the humans and have feelings for the humans, and I just think that's incredible. Westworld, the chaotic, crazy, futuristic Western with robots. I gave it an 8 out of 5. I mean, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really good show, and I would recommend it. See ya.